Bitcoin, the name that changed how the world thinks about money. It's been called digital gold, a revolution, and for some people, the greatest investment of their lifetime. But here's the question everyone's asking right now. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin in 2025? Because if you look at the headlines, Bitcoin has already exploded over the last decade, from a few cents to tens of thousands of dollars. Some people made millions. Others missed the ride completely. And now, in 2025, it feels like you're standing at a crossroads. One path says, buy now before it's too late. The other says, don't be the last fool holding the bag. So which one is it? Is Bitcoin still a smart investment, or is the golden era already over? Let's start with the obvious. Bitcoin has already proven it is not a fad. It's survived market crashes, regulatory attacks, and thousands of predictions calling it dead. Every time people doubted it, Bitcoin came back stronger, like a phoenix rising from its own ashes. And here's the thing. If you zoom out, Bitcoin's story isn't just about price. It's about transformation. It's the first global decentralized currency. No government, no central bank, no manipulation. Bitcoin represents freedom, the freedom to own and transfer money without needing permission from anyone. That idea alone changed finance forever. And that's why millions of people still believe. Bitcoin is only getting started. But before we jump into hype, let's get real. Is it actually too late to buy Bitcoin now? Or could this still be the beginning of something much bigger? To answer that, you need to understand three key things: adoption, scarcity, and timing. Let's talk about adoption first. When Bitcoin was born in 2009, almost nobody cared. It was an experiment, a digital curiosity for tech geeks. Fast forward to 2025, and Bitcoin has become part of the global financial system. Major banks hold it. Public companies like Tesla and MicroStrategy have billions in it. Governments are regulating it, not banning it. And institutional investors are quietly adding it to portfolios. That's adoption. The more people, businesses, and institutions accept Bitcoin, the more stable and valuable it becomes. In 2025, more than 300 million people worldwide own some form of cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin is still the king of them all. But here's the crazy part: that's still less than 5% of the global population. So if you think you are late, you might actually be early. Because adoption doesn't grow in a straight line, it grows exponentially. Think of the internet in the late 1990s. People thought they were too late then too. But the biggest companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, were still just getting started. Bitcoin could follow a similar path. Mass adoption might not even have fully begun yet. Now, let's talk about scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. That's it. No printing, no inflation, no central authority changing the rules. And by 2025, over 19.5 million of those Bitcoins are already mined. That means less than 1.5 million are left, ever. Compare that to fiat money. Governments can print trillions at will, weakening the value of every dollar. Bitcoin doesn't play that game. Its supply is fixed forever. That's why many investors call it digital gold. Except gold's supply grows every year, and Bitcoin's doesn't. This built-in scarcity creates what economists call supply shock. When demand rises and supply can't increase, price has only one direction to go: up. And here's where timing becomes crucial. In 2024, Bitcoin went through its latest halving, the event that cuts new Bitcoin production in half. Historically, every halving has been followed by a major bull run within the next 12 to 18 months. It happened in 2013. It happened in 1917. It happened in 2021. And now here we are in 2025. If history rhymes, we might still be in the early stages of the next major cycle. But there's one big difference this time: the world is paying attention. In previous cycles, Bitcoin was dominated by retail investors, individuals buying small amounts. Now, big players are in the game: hedge funds, pension funds, even governments. When institutions buy, they don't buy a few $1,000s worth. They buy billions. That kind of demand changes everything. It's no longer a niche asset. It's becoming part of the global portfolio, right next to stocks, bonds, and gold. But let's not get carried away. Every investment has risk, and Bitcoin's volatility is legendary. It can rise 40% in a month and crash 30% the next. So if you are thinking about buying Bitcoin now, you need to understand what you are signing up for. Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slowly and stay-rich if you have patience kind of play. It rewards the patient and punishes the emotional. If you panic every time the price dips, Bitcoin is not for you. But if you believe in the long-term vision, a decentralized, borderless, inflation-resistant form of money, then short-term volatility doesn't matter. Because long-term, Bitcoin's story is about direction, not noise. And that direction historically has been up. Still, you have to be smart about it. Don't throw your life savings into Bitcoin overnight. Don't buy just because everyone else is talking about it. Invest based on logic, not hype. The best strategy for most people is something called dollar cost averaging, investing a fixed amount every week or month, regardless of the price. That way, you buy more when prices are low, less when prices are high, and avoid emotional decisions. It's not exciting, but it works. Many Bitcoin millionaires didn't time the market perfectly. They just stayed consistent. Because in investing, time in the market beats timing the market. Now, let's address a common fear. What if Bitcoin crashes again? Yes, Bitcoin has had brutal crashes in the past. It's fallen 80% multiple times. But each time it has recovered to new highs. Why? Because Bitcoin's foundation is stronger now than ever before. In 1913, it was a wild idea. In 1917, it was a speculative bubble. In 2021, it became an institutional asset. And in 2025, it's becoming part of the global economy. Every crash shakes out the weak hands and strengthens the believers. That's how all disruptive technologies evolve. Look at Amazon. It dropped 90% after the dot-com bubble and then went on to become one of the biggest companies in history. Bitcoin's journey has been similar, volatile but upward. So, is it too late to buy Bitcoin now? Not if you believe in its long-term purpose. But if you are hoping to get rich overnight, then yes, you are too late for that dream. The days of turning $100 into millions are gone. Bitcoin has matured. Now it's about preservation and growth, not gambling and luck. Think of it like buying gold or real estate. You don't expect it to double overnight. You hold it to protect and grow wealth over time. Bitcoin is entering that stage. It's becoming the digital foundation of wealth for the next generation. But there's another reason Bitcoin still matters: the state of global currencies. Around the world, inflation continues to eat away at purchasing power. Governments are printing money to cover debt. And trust in traditional finance is weakening every year. In times like these, people look for safe alternatives, assets that can't be inflated away. Bitcoin offers exactly that. It's transparent, predictable, and not controlled by any single entity. That's why even countries like El Salvador and corporations like Fidelity are doubling down on Bitcoin in 2025. It's no longer about speculation, it's about sovereignty. But let's be honest. Bitcoin isn't perfect. Its price swings can scare off new investors. Its energy use is still controversial. And governments are still figuring out how to regulate it. These risks are real. But so are the opportunities. Because every major innovation in history has faced resistance before acceptance. Cars replaced horses. The internet replaced newspapers. And now, digital money is challenging traditional finance. That transition doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen. So if you believe in the direction of progress, you understand that Bitcoin is not a passing trend. It's part of a global shift. That's why some investors see Bitcoin not just as an investment, but as insurance. Insurance against inflation, against currency devaluation, against financial instability. Even if Bitcoin never replaces fiat money, it serves as a hedge against the flaws of the current system. So owning even a small amount could make a big difference in the future. And remember, you don't need a full Bitcoin to invest. You can buy fractions as little as $10 worth. That's how accessibility has changed everything. You no longer need to be rich to own Bitcoin. You just need to start. But here's the secret. The best time to buy Bitcoin was yesterday. The second best time is today. Because waiting for the perfect price is the fastest way to miss the opportunity entirely. The key isn't timing the market, it's understanding the market. If you believe Bitcoin will still exist and grow in 10 years, then buying and holding now makes sense. If you think it is going to zero, then do not touch it. It all comes down to conviction. So, is it too late to buy Bitcoin in 2025? No, it's not too late. It's too late to get it at $100. Too late to get it at $1,000. Maybe even too late to get it under $20,000. But it's not too late to be part of the future of money. Because as the world moves more digital, as inflation erodes traditional currencies, and as trust in centralized systems fades, Bitcoin's value proposition only grows stronger. The question isn't whether Bitcoin will survive, it's how many people will realize its power before the next wave hits. Some will wait. Some will doubt. Some will call it a bubble again. And a small group who understands cycles, patience, and technology, will quietly accumulate. 10 years from now, people might look back at 2025 and say, that was still early. Because when a financial revolution is unfolding, it never feels obvious in the moment. It only feels obvious in hindsight. So don't ask, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Ask instead, how long am I willing to believe in the future? Because the answer to that question will determine everything.